seriously, folks, I need some seeds for my garden of verse, not to mention some fertilizer too.
Not to mention some fertilizer too. And I would say as secretary, a lot of the news that I get is in the form of fertilizer.
That's just a small sample of how unfunny and pointless this column will become if you people don't come across with something to print.
Dick Alford, 60, who usually invents fictional names for classmates and a potpourri of lies, is now so inundated with cards and letters that he has to save half his information for upcoming columns.
Ed Warren, 62, has to be dragged kicking and screaming from his computer each quarter. He's got such a glut of material from which to choose.
And look at us. Take away Chuck Webb and we're like a dial tone.
Silence. One hand clapping.
You guys are much more interesting than the classes of 60 and 62 combined.
And I know because I was a member of those classes, as well as 63 and maybe even 64. Just all such a blur.
But anyway, man, how about it? I can't do it alone.
I'm starving out here in the wilderness. Save me. Send food.
It's that time again. The first class notes of year 3 of my tenure as your class secretary. The burden is getting heavy, believe me. Why, you ask incredulously?
Well, for one thing, almost nothing appears to happen to anyone in our class. It's amazing that we children of the apathetic 50s could retain our high level of inertia through the 60s and 70s. But we all seem to have done it.
Did I sound pitiful enough in the last issue? I guess I must have, because there finally was a veritable cornucopia of response. However, it pains me to report that the letters were mainly boring.
The letters were mainly boring. Wow. So I'll be looking for quality now that you've mastered the quantity part. I appreciate the fact that some of you actually took the time to write, but I think telling your classmates about buying a new pair of chinos or getting your Volvo lubed isn't going to stop the presses.
I didn't remember everything I had done, all these, but this one I remembered. And
The returns from the class of 1961 survey are in, and here are some of the not so shocking results.
Favorite social sanction, the silent treatment.
Favorite Christmas carol, Silent Night.
Favorite war novel, All Quiet on the Western Front.
Favorite aphorism, silence is golden.
Favorite actress, Diane Salento.
Favorite role model, the strong, silent type.
Favorite work of nonfiction, The Silent Spring.
Favorite question, Cat Got Your Tongue.
I hope you're beginning to get the idea.
That's very good, very good. The only thing I'm a little surprised about, Wally, is you might have used the silence of the lambs, which I think covers everyone in the class.
this is the one that if I were writing it later, I would have added Silence of the Lambs to it.
You know, the next guy who gets this job, and by God, there will be a next guy, and it can't happen too soon to suit this guy,
Will probably be besieged by letters from a bunch of bored 55-year-old retirees who will literally be barfing out news and information all over themselves.
But this 5-year stint, I swear, is like pulling teeth.
I guess you're all just so doggone active at this time of your lives that sitting down for a minute and slapping off a note to your old class secretary is out of the question.
Fine, he writes. If that's what you want, I can deal with it.
I've invented informational tidbits, lied, cheated, virtually killed to bring you your quarterly dose of gossip.
I've gone the distance because that's how much I care.
I guess I should just have stayed in the class of 62 or 63 or whatever class I'd occasionally find myself in, because those alumni columns are pregnant with items.
They have so much fun in those classes that it should be almost illegal.
They kick back and laugh and slap each other on the back and connect with each other.
But us, we just sit there like a bunch of selfish old curmudgeons, hoarding the good times, unwilling to share our news and views and revelations.
I'm ashamed of us. And only 3 letters this time, guys, and one of them was from Canada, so it doesn't really count.
Give me a break.
And speaking of communication, how about a little more from you to me? The well is running dry, as if you haven't noticed.
Imagine your disappointment when you receive the next issue of the Alumni Review and you quickly leaf through the magazine to the section containing class notes. You pass 58, 59, 60, only to go directly to 62.
No passing of go, no collecting of $200 worth of amusement. Oh, Wally, you are amusing.
Don't think I'm not still actively whining for news. Even though my sentence is almost up, I've still got a few months to serve and I'll be needing info.
When Buck takes over, you can stop writing, but until then, hit those mailboxes. Okay.